Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Wednesday. Jason will be with us shortly. We're working on something really big again. Get ready as just insanity going on in the precious metals markets. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And man, there's so much happening right now. Goldman Sachs now upping its gold forecast again. You know, most of these banks, Goldman, J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, you know, all the usual guys, they're like, it's going to be like $2,800. Right? That's what gold's going to be in 2025. And then they said, well, okay, 3,000. You know, as we're pumping up on 3,000 now. Goldman Sachs now, okay, how about 3,200? But if this happens, 3,400. If this happens, 3,500, right? Bank of America, 3,500. Big news. China, huge amount of gold purchases last month. 45 metric tons. Goldman now upping its central bank gold buying. And I'll just say this. It's big news. You know, China, you know, they normally, hey, we're going to buy 20 tons, 15 tons, 25 tons, but jumping in with 45 metric tons, and according to Goldman, they are going to continue to buying at a pace much higher than expected. How do they know that? I don't know. But they're saying, hey, listen, central banks are going to buy a minimum of 50 metric tons every month, and that's really light. That would be, you know, something where most of the time you're going to see 50 as the low, up to 100, maybe even 150 metric tons. They're saying ETFs now are starting to add. And then big news from Goldman about the major four banks. Remember, we talked about this yesterday. HSBC, JP Morgan, UBS, and then, of course, the Chinese State Bank. They said that they've been forced to make deliveries because they were going to suffer huge losses. And now, according to Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan alone is going to deliver $4 billion worth of gold this month. They had to file with the COMEX to inform the COMEX, hey, guys, all this gold that we've been flooding into the COMEX, by the way, $4 billion needs to be delivered. And that's just JP Morgan. We don't know about UBS. We don't know about HSBC. We don't know about the Chinese State Bank as well. And according to Goldman, they said so many different things. If tariffs come in, add another 5%. If concerns about U.S. fiscal sustainability grow, add another 5% to it. And they also said they expect the gold pouring into New York to continue. So, Jason, we reported this yesterday that it looks like we've got a true gold shortage. London is under duress now, and these banks, according to Goldman Sachs, they're being forced to deliver. Either that or they were going to take huge loans because they could default, right, and force, hey, you get cash. The problem for J.P. Morgan was if they were going to have to pay cash, it was going to be huge losses because of the way they hedged stuff. I don't know, all this complex stuff. But Goldman kind of letting the world know, hey, they're not delivering because they want to. They're delivering because they have to, and there's no way out of the whole situation. So, and remember, the paper spreads continue to rise as more pressure continues to mount on London. And this was the other thing that Goldman said, because I keep, and I don't say it enough. Listen, they're doing the same with silver, right? The silver deliverables are going to be huge. And Goldman kind of said the exact same thing, and I'm trying to find it here. I'll find it during the next break. But I want to say it was an incredible number. The amount of physical silver that had to be delivered this month. So remember now, silver, this is a March contract. So that's when you got to deliver when these contracts expire. And Goldman and others now are starting to share some numbers about, Jason, just how much physical metal has to be delivered. It really is. When you start thinking about, I don't know, I've been doing this over 20 plus years. I don't know if I've ever heard of J.P. Morgan delivering $4 billion in a single month. I mean, it's crazy money what we're talking about. Uh-oh. If you're on YouTube or Rumble, we got another big, gorgeous special. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason on this Wednesday. The Dow is down 120. The NASDAQ is down 22. The S&P pretty flat, down $1. The 10-year note, here we go, 4.55. And, I expect those prices to continue to rise here. We've had gold has hit another all-time record high during intraday, had an all-time record high close yesterday. Right now, gold's off $4 here, $29.30. Silver at $32.60. I keep telling you, get more diversified. I don't know what else to say. When they sit there and they tell you, hey, guys, just in case you're paying attention, the PE ratios are at the second highest levels of all time. Only the dot-com bubble was bigger. Remember? I remember the dot-com. The dot-com, but there was talk that the NASDAQ was going to be worth more than the Dow Jones. Like that was how idiotic it was, that they wouldn't be able to shuffle the Dow fast enough, and that the NASDAQ would be worth more, right? Because they wouldn't be able to move like Apple and all these other stocks fast enough into the Dow. Of course, that didn't happen. Just telling you. I won't. I feel like I'm begging, because this is how positive I am that this is going to work out very well for all of you people that are smart enough to put more gold and silver away. If you got these big IRAs, take a chunk of it. Call us and roll it into a precious metals IRA. Don't put it all in there. I mean, you can, but don't put it all in there. But get ready here. So today, remember yesterday I told you, that's it. You're not going to get gold below $3,000. Just not going to happen. I mean, well, come on. Spot's $29.40. Premiums went up again yesterday. So we knew it wouldn't last. They're still way below where they should be. That's the good part. But today, we've got two great items. Let's start with gold. We've got about $65 Liberty gold coins. 1866 to 1907. Basically a quarter ounce of gold, just under a quarter ounce of gold. The $5 Liberty. And this, I will tell you, in the 20-plus years I've been doing this, I want to say, I don't know, 3 times? Maybe 3 times? Where you could buy 4 $5 Liberties and have it be less than a $20 gold piece. We have that today. Remember, yesterday I told you it was the last day to get a $20 gold piece below $3,000. They're $3,045 on a $20 gold piece today, which is still dirt cheap. It's like $100 over spot. That's nothing. Today, $5 Liberties, they're $760. By the way, that's a $40 savings, just to kind of clue you in here. The wholesaler and I, we had a talk today, and we decided we're going to heat this up, and we're going to split the difference. He's going to save $20. I'm going to throw $20 out there. They're $760. If you buy 4 of them, it's only $3,040. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, look at a $10. They're $15.95. Two tens is like almost $3,200. Jump on this, on the $5 Liberties at $760. It's just incredible how close to spot you're talking. I mean, you're literally talking about paying about $25 over spot. Just about $25 over spot for a $5 Liberty. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. That's awesome.
This might be a good day, Joe, to buy one of the gold special and one of the silver special. That might be a great way to go for you guys that want to buy one of each.
I'm going to tell you, we didn't anticipate the silver special. We weren't sure if it was going to come or not. It showed up. Literally, Jason blew my phone up at like 9:01. We go, we hit the air at like 9:04. Hey, they just got here. They're here. We have 50 rolls of 1921 Morgan dollars. Jason, go ahead and hold those up for the people that are on YouTube and Rumble. These are AU, BU. My guess is a lot of these could be graded. Yep. We are going to be below cost, and I mean way below cost. They're going to be $600 a roll. That's $30 a coin for AU, BU, 1921 Morgans. Here's the thing. An AU Morgan, 1921, cost me $32. A BU Morgan, 1921, cost $34. So you're saving between $2 and $4 a coin. And I mean, saving, that's below cost. Forget about the, you got these, our dealers got to make a few dollars. I mean, you're really talking about buying these things $5, $6, $7, $8 below retail. So we've got $65 Liberties at $760, which is, I just think, insane. And then, even more insane, 50 rolls of 1921 mortgage. Jason held them up. I'm telling you, these things really, we're probably, forget about AU and BU. These things are probably gradable coins. They're probably mid-state 61, 62s. So these are way below cost.
Most of these will be 63s and even 64s. We're gonna say AU just because I haven't looked at all of the 1,000 coins, but I went through multiple rolls. Yeah. In the roll that I'm currently going through.
Listen, at worst case scenario, you're buying them at $2 below our cost.
Right.
Best case scenario, you're probably buying these things for, I don't know, $14 below cost. If it's a 64, forget about it. I mean, then you're talking like $30-some below cost. But Jason's holding these things up.
This is the worst one in the roll. So the current roll that's in front of me, this is the worst one in the roll.
That's the worst one.
So I would say we're going to say AU to BU, but I mean these are all uncirculated. So what I would call these is low uncirculated up to mid to high uncirculated grade coins. They're all super nice. They're all super nice. I mean, you're going to get stuff that looks like this. You know, look at this, Joe.
Wow, look at that thing. And I apologize.
They're all 1921s. They're common. They're common coins. We know that the 21s are common, but these are still Morgan dollars. And in this grade, it doesn't matter how common they are. People want these coins, Joe.
Yeah, and then really quickly, U.S. housing starts declined 10%. By the way, here we go. Yeah, we got one line open, so hurry. 800-951-0592. By the way, we had home builder confidence crashing. Extremely concerned about the lack of buyers on top of potential tariffs that are coming. Donald Trump yesterday reiterating 25% tariffs are coming April 1st. Autos. Ford CEO saying this will blow up the auto industry, but that is coming. 25% prescription. It says drugs. So I'm assuming he's not talking about marijuana and cocaine, right? I'm assuming he's talking about pharmaceuticals that are on the list, and also semiconductors. So, Jason, again, I think this is going to continue to add pressure on the inflation front. They need to come up with all of this money, and it's insane as we start looking at now the home builders are worried because they're not going to get lower rates. They're worried about tariffs and how much it will add to the cost of homes. When you start thinking about it, we don't, lumber, right? That we don't do a lot of lumber here, so that cost. But it's all the other stuff. When you start listening to these home builders, they're like, there's a lot of stuff people don't even realize that we don't make here, whether it's a toilet, whether it's some type of fastener that screws, bolts, whatever it may be, that are all going to be affecting the pricing here. I think the Ford CEO, he's probably been the most aggressive, saying this is going to blow a hole in the auto industry. Manufacturers face a spike in cost and chaos. Let's be real honest. A 25% tariff in the auto industry will blow a hole in the U.S. industry that we've never seen before. So the Ford CEO saying, hey, listen, hey, we just had a line open up. So 800-951-0592. If you get the voicemail, you can leave a message. But if I was you, I'd hang up and keep calling. That's what I would do. But, Jason, they're just saying that there's a lot of things in the supply chain that come from Mexico, come from Canada, come from China, that are required to do whatever they're doing at the U.S. plants. Even the stuff, like I say, hey, we make SUVs and trucks here. We don't really make cars in the United States anymore. They're like, yeah, but a lot of the stuff we assemble, we build it somewhere else and ship it in. So we'll see, Jason. But Donald Trump today reiterating April 1st, this is coming. Because, listen, I get it. Trump wants them to build everything here. Whatever parts for the engine you're building somewhere else, build it here. Build the cars here. I think the Ford CEO is letting you know that can happen. But if you thought that vehicles were expensive now, wait till then, right, Jason?
And I don't even know if Trump really wants all the manufacturing to come back. He wants to get his piece. You know, he's the leader of the United States government, so he's trying to get the United States the best deal. The Federal Reserve, the bankers want to get their best deal. Mexico wants to get their best deal. China wants to get their best deal, right? It's just, I think the margins, the market worldwide is getting tight. Joe, I saw pictures of China last night. They are waiting at some of the big jewelry stores in China for 6 hours to buy gold jewelry.
I'm telling you right now, it is crazy in Asia right now. You can't get gold anywhere. What a two great specials. $5 Liberty, $7.60. 4 of them cheaper than a 20.
HughesNet is now better than ever.
800-951-0592. We got a couple lines open. Listen, I think we're going to sell out of both of our specials today. The $5 Liberty at $760. If you bought 4 of those, that's less than a 20 today. It's the cheapest way to buy gold today, and it's really not very close. $760 on the $5 Liberties. Remember, we only had 60 of those. 50. We're going to say AU, but
they're uncirculated.
Yeah. We got 50, we don't have them now. We had 50 rolls of uncirculated 1921 Morgan dollars. Jason's been showing you guys them. These things, like, they're blindingly beautiful. At $600, I can tell you right now, we've already sold almost half of those already, and it's been 10 minutes. So if you want to get in on these, get it done today. Jason has them in Colorado. You can order today.
You can pick them up today.
Pick them up today if you want. He'll ship them here to Phoenix. Don't worry, Phoenix. I'll have them here. I'll have them, let's say, no later than Tuesday of next week. We'll have them here. 800-951-0592. Listen, they're $600 a roll. They're so far below cost, it's ridiculous.
I was watching this video, as I said last segment, of China, right? People that are listening to this, you really, really need to get ready. What China's citizens are feeling the squeeze really hard right now. I think people in America are feeling the squeeze, but they're sort of a deer in the headlights, sort of hold on and see what's going to happen. China, for retailers like us that sell and buy gold and silver, China's got the market that you want as a retailer. They got both sides, buyers and sellers. These lines in China at these jewelry stores are 6 hours. They showed another one, 8 to 10 hour waits for a Chinese person just to get into this large jewelry store at one of these big malls in China to buy gold jewelry and to buy whatever coins. Coins are very hard to find in China. Gold coins are they're available, gold bars, but they get sucked up first, and then it's jewelry. And there's a ton of jewelry versus the coins. And then a bunch of these Chinese people, Joe, you might have to do the calculations, 1,000 yuan for a gram. I don't know what that is in dollars. I'm guessing it's much higher, the price for gold in China right now than it is here. And so there are Chinese people selling now. So it's like they're selling, they're buying. It is a very, very busy market. Here in America, we have got a one-way market. most everybody is selling. There's still people buying. Obviously it's a market, but we don't have as many people. And what this tells you is the squeeze in America isn't quite as hard as the squeeze in China. And when people start to, figure out that, hey, the price of everything's not going to slow down, it's going to keep going up, I need to get myself into metals. I'm getting more and more calls every day from people that don't have gold and silver, asking the right questions. How do I buy it? Because people that don't buy this stuff are figuring it out. I need to have protected money, and it's not my cash and it's not my bank account. So, man, this is how we got this better. We're giving it away because we don't have the two-way market. We don't have the huge customers that China has, but it's going to happen. What, does gold have to be $4,000 before people wake up? Maybe so, because it's just cheaper here. China, the Eastern market is buying it from the Western market. There's a few privileged distributors that get to send it to China and make 3% or whatever it is, right, Joe? And they're sending tons of this stuff eastward. So it's a great time.
China, just to give you an idea, about $137 for a gram in China. So when we have our gram bars, we sell them for like $100. Most people out there, if you go online, you buy gram bars for about $120 here. So you can see how
they're waiting 6 hours. They're waiting 6 hours to get that gram bar for $137. They're waiting 6 hours to get that opportunity, Joe.
So LPL Financial, you guys may not know them. They are huge. They provide a lot of the tools for independent money market managers. They're based in California. Well, I don't know if they're based. They got a big office in California, and they started looking at gold and what gold's done over the last 30 years and saying, hey, guess what, guys? It's got a long way to go. When we actually start looking at the drivers for gold, they're saying whether it be tariffs, whether it be all the geopolitical stuff, but here's what they said. Adding gold and reducing dollars has been the growing theme. Got to remember now, they do a large amount of money management business. So when they talk about this stuff, they know, right? They're not guessing or speculating. 81%, according to LPL Financial, of central banks say they are going to increase their gold reserves over the next 12 months. Wow. That is huge compared to where it was. Now, we knew over the, I was like, oh, that's going to be over the next 5 years. No. In the next year now, 81% of the central banks have told LPL we're going to increase our gold reserves. And then they said the other 19%, you know what they told us? We're just going to leave it unchanged. Number of central banks that said they were selling gold, 0. Furthermore, 62% of the central banks said they were going to lower their dollar reserves over the next 5 years. So 81% are going. No wonder why. Now it all makes sense, right? Goldman, coming out saying, oh, by the way, we're going to increase the amount of central bank. Are we going to hit a new record? Are we going to have more record highs in central bank gold demand? It certainly appears this way. I just saw a new one now. One of the guys that I follow now, there are gold guys. $5,000 gold by 2026. And these guys, they know what they're talking about. 800-951-0592. This is maybe, gosh, we've had so many great specials this week, this year. This one is spectacular. $5 Liberty gold coins, quarter-ounce gold coins, $760. It's cheaper than 20s, way cheaper than 10s, cheaper than Gold Eagles, cheaper than bars. And spectacular 1921 Morgan dollars at $600 a roll. It's so far below cost, it's ridiculous. We'll be back. Whew, man. Fast and furious here, 800-951-0592. I can't even get an update right now. The phone lines are blowing up here. Run to your phone. If you want some $5 liberties at this ridiculous price of $7.60, if you want these 21 Morgan dollars, 1921 Morgan dollars, these things, we're going to say they're AU, but they're not. They're much better than that.
Yeah.
Much better than that. We're $2 below what an AU would be. Cost, not retail, cost. $2 below cost. But when you start talking BUs, now we're $4 below cost. When you start talking, like Jason said, a lot of these are probably like 61, 2, 3, 4, right? Forget it. Like you're 10, 12, 14, 15. Who cares? Doesn't matter. It's all value to you. $600, and they are going very, very quickly at 800-951-0592. I just had 2 lines open up, so you got an opportunity to get in here.
Joe, listen to this. I might play a little bit of this clip because I might have to get this maybe later today or tomorrow and play some of this. When you see these marketplaces, I've watched the videos of these marketplaces for gold in China. There's a franchise company called China Gold. Okay, they're in these malls and all across China selling this stuff, and they would do this thing where, hey, if you let us hold your gold, we'll pay you a little 2%, 3% premium, and we'll hold it for you, right? And, well, let's just listen to the clip. Let's listen to part of the clip, and I'll explain more, but just listen to this.
The reason gold prices are hitting new highs isn't because of inflation. It's because of a lack of confidence. People worry about putting their money in banks, fearing account freezes or withdrawal restrictions.
Remember, this is China we're talking about, which we have the same thing here, but China is, these people are really worried.
Some are uncertain about the economy and feel more secure keeping gold at home. The rush to buy gold in China is closely tied to the country's slowing economy and its situation on the global stage. Wang Guo-chen, an assistant researcher at Taiwan's Chonghua Institution for Economic Research, explained that China's economy is slowing and financial risks are mounting, putting pressure on the yuan. As a result, people are less inclined to save in yuan and are turning to gold instead. To meet this growing demand, the People's Bank of China must increase its gold reserves. Some gold stores in China have collapsed due to insufficient reserves. Customers who believed they had bought gold only had numbers in a virtual account. When they tried to withdraw physical gold, it wasn't available. This shortfall is pushing the central bank to continue increasing its reserves.
And this store, China Gold, the stores just stopped. They just closed up. But there was nowhere to get your gold, and because it's connected to the government of China, the people are just out their gold, Joe. So this has pushed their demand even higher. It's like, look, I got to possess it. Well, look what we've been talking about with here in America. There's this rush to get gold to America because somebody wants to possess it, and people in China, having somebody hold it, they're finding out real quick. Well, because of their government and because of bad decisions, you have a little paper slip that says you have gold, Joe. Right, or the gold store's like, yeah, leave it here, we'll give you a premium, and then you go to the store the next day, and the store is shut down, and the Chinese government's like, well, that was buyer beware. If you don't hold it, you don't own it, right, Joe?
That is an absolute fact. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. I've got so much breaking news right now. Since November, the end of November, it's being reported the U.S. COMEX has taken delivery of 40 million ounces of silver. So I told you I'd get you the number I've gotten you that number. J.P. Morgan has already informed the COMEX. February is the gold contract. They are going to deliver $4 billion worth of gold in February alone. That's delivering. People taking physical. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. These people were more apt to, I'll just do the paper stuff. And they're now saying, nah, I don't want that paper stuff. News out of China and Korea now. It looks like silver bar sales are starting to be suspended across the country. By the way, this will be the 2025, another major structural deficit in silver. And Mexico now warning that this will be another down year in production from Mexico. They are the largest silver producer. And I mean, Jason, when we talk about they're the largest silver producer, it's not even close, right? They're like double the next biggest guy out there. So all you silver super bulls out there, get ready. U.S. $5 gold pieces, $7.60. That if you bought four $5 gold pieces today, cheaper than a $20. Cheaper than a $20 at $7.60 a piece. And then these, what is left? We've got one line open. I'll try to get you an update. I don't know what's left, but both of them, we had 50 rolls of these beautiful 1921 Morgan dollars. We're calling them AU. They're way better than that. Who cares? It's all about the price. They were only $600 a roll. Got to remember, we only had $65 gold pieces, and we only had 50 rolls of these Morgans, and then that's it, Jason. Think about this. The Morgans, forget about it. We don't got any more. The $5 gold pieces go to $800.
And lucky you don't have to wait 6 hours in line to buy it. Why do I get the feeling?
Not yet.
We're going to be moving towards that. Yeah, not yet, right?
By the way, final segment coming up. The Federal Reserve continues to refuse to tell us whose gold they hold and how much of it they hold. We'll be back. 800-951-0592. I was just going to say we got a line open. Now we don't. All lines are full. Here's the good news. I was out there looking at it. I don't know how many of the fives are left or the 21 Morgan rolls, but I saw a lot. Give me a roll. Give me two rolls. Give me 4 fives. So it's something where there's not a lot available. Gosh, that person just hung up. I apologize. Call back. We'll get to you. 800-951-0592. But Jason, I'm going to save this article. Powell, the Federal Reserve will not answer the Freedom of Information Act request about gold holdings. But Jason, take over. I'm going to grab this call.
Yeah. When we get busy and Joe can take an order, you might get lucky one of these days on these shows when we have these cheaper items that Joe might actually take your order for you. But these silver dollars that walked in literally just as the show was getting ready to start, very, very, very nice. We're using the term AU because I didn't check all of the 1,000 coins, but I went through more than a dozen rolls, and the worst I've seen is a what I would call a low uncirculated coin, which would be like MS-60 or 61, which sometimes they have a little more mag marks. Sometimes they don't have the luster, so they get the lower mint state grade. but that's the worst I've seen. Some of them have some just the rim toning, which means they've been in these tubes for a long time. I open up the roll, and the thing is a mint state 64 with rim toning, Joe. So it's like they're super cool coins. You don't get a variety, but you get some. I mean, these are great gifts. These are graduation gifts. These are great birthday gifts. They're awesome coins to give out as gifts.
Well, you know what, though? They're just cool to see. You got to think about this. These coins are, 104 years old? And they look brand new. I mean, it's crazy. 800-951-0592. Remember last week Jay Powell was testifying in front of Congress? He refused in that testimony to talk about the central bank's foreign gold holdings. Elon Musk, Doge now saying, hey, we got to audit. We got to find out what's really in the U.S. gold reserves. Rand Paul is ready to do it. There's been a Freedom of Information Act request, and the central bank just keeps ignoring it and going to the courts and saying that, well, there's a reason why, and the courts keep allowing the Federal Reserve to not answer the request reflecting just how much gold the Federal Reserve Bank of New York holds in its vaults. The request for the Fed gold holdings, this goes back before Russia invaded Ukraine, right? I mean, this was, Jason, it's like 4 years now that they just continually are going to the courts. And someone in Congress at least brought it up, and they refused to answer. Then one of the congressmen wrote to them, said, hey, what's going on here? Why are you guys not answering this question? And guess what they told them? Yeah, none of your business. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. 800-951-0592. Jason and I, we're coming right back with the half-empty cup. Stay with us.